Welcome to the Business Blast podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Wagner. This episode is brought to you by Authors Unite. Authors Unite provides you with all the resources you need to become a successful author. You can learn more about Authors Unite and join the free community at authorsunite.com. Now, let's jump into the episode. All right, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Business Blast podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Wagner. Today, I have Jason Allan Scott with us. He is a best-selling author and entrepreneur who has built and sold several businesses in 3 continents and one of the top event planners in the world. He is also the founder of calisthenics.com, where he's trying to define athleticism. For if he can define it, he can teach it and test for it. Currently coaching companies and individuals on health and wellness. So welcome to the show, man.
Thank you very much. Absolute pleasure to be here.
Of course. Pleasure to have you on. And we'll jump in for you, Jason. The first one we have is, what is the best story from your life that has an underlying valuable message?
This was actually the toughest question that I think I may ever have been given.
I love that.
My friends will tell you, and anyone that knows me will say, I collect stories like most people collect clothes or photographs from travels or trips, or awards for big musicians and filmmakers and writers. I think the best story from my life is probably the fact that I moved to 3 different continents with nothing but a tug bag or a backpack or a pillowcase, and the idea that I thought it would make a great story, that it would be fantastic to have to learn a culture or work out a problem or find a way to make money and then find a way to make a home and then make friends and create a tribe around myself and do something that was challenging and allowed progression every single day that kind of moved me forward. And what I took from that is that, and I've done that from the age of 27 to now at 43. And what I learned from that is that with a lot of people, they have these things they attach a value to, their children, their animals, their clothes, some piece of success that they hold on to. When the truth is, you've got to believe that there is this thing that you love more than anything in this world, that you want to give absolutely everything to, that you want to protect from danger and harm, and you want to put in front of everything that's going to make it grow and develop to be the best it can be. And then imagine that thing is you and act accordingly.
Yeah, man. I like that. That is awesome. The next question I have for you is, what is the most valuable piece of information we should know that's within your expertise or industry?
So although I would say my industry is starting business and selling business for the last decade, I've been in events and specializing in events and working with major film companies, music, art, television, awards, et cetera, et cetera. And the biggest thing I've learned from my industry is the importance of listening. The great leader Nelson Mandela, ex-president of South Africa, said that his father was a tribal leader. And the greatest thing he ever learned from his dad was that he'd make everyone sit in a circle and he'd give every single person a chance to speak before he spoke. And my favorite philosopher is Epictetus Taxidermus, who said, "We have given 1 mouth and 2 ears, so we may listen twice as much as we speak."
Yes, I agree with that. That's why I audiobook all the time.
Absolutely.
Then the next one I have for you is, what's your best piece of overall business advice? So not necessarily industry specific, and maybe you could gear it, it's up to you, but maybe you could gear it towards like somebody just starting out, and they're not sure what to do.
The best piece of business advice I ever got given, which has changed everything for me, and is something I share with anyone who's starting out or trying to decide what to do. I first try to decide why they're doing it. Is it because it's a burning desire? Are they trying to serve a certain community? Are they following their why? A lot of the time, it's none of that. A lot of the time, they're just trying to get out of a position or looking for freedom or opportunity, which comes down to money, because money can buy time and money can buy opportunity and time to think. And then I explained that there's a pyramid to success, a pyramid to wealth. And if you remember the pyramid, you can never, ever go wrong. If you can show anyone how to lose weight, get laid, or get paid, you will always get wealth and make a living.
I like that.
And it's a fact. I have tested it in so many ways, in so many countries, in so many languages, from beauty pageants to the science of fat loss to coaching to teaching people how to run a business. It always comes back to the pyramid, and it just works again and again. And the more successful they are, the more successful you become.
Yeah. Yep. Makes sense. And if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that be?
That in the end, there are only 3 questions that matter. The watches don't matter. The holidays never mattered. The private jets, the suits, the people you've met, everything. It all comes down to just 3 questions. Did you love? Did you live? Did you matter?
Yeah, I agree again. Dude, I love it. My lucky number is 3 as well, so I'm really liking this.
Brilliant. Oh, I'm exactly the same. 3 is my lucky number.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, now kind of going towards a little bit of a different path, but in your opinion, what is the key to happiness?
It's interesting because I have 2 for this. I often think about this. I have a 3. I have find someone to love, find something to love, and do it every day. And I believe in chasing progression. I believe we find most of our happiness from progress. A lot of the time, a lot of us hit our goals. Maybe it's writing a best-selling book. Maybe it's speaking in front of a room full of peers. Or it's having a child, or getting married, or your first sports car, your first big holiday. But the truth is, it's that progression, that everyday winning, that brings the most amount of happiness. And again, if you can just find someone to love and find something to love, and the chance to do that day after day after day, there's no greater happiness.
Yeah, I agree, man. I definitely realized in my life, definitely finding someone to love is huge, but then also like growth has been really, really big for me. And always like setting goals that like I think it's good to set goals that yes, you'll reach, but then you always, I think having like another goal after you hit that in mind, because I fell into that as well when I was a little bit younger where I'd like hit my goals and I was like, well, I'm good. I can like settle, have fun. And then I was like, and then after a while, I was like, this is boring, dude. I'm like not happy.
It is 100%.
So I think it's so wild how it's like, it's almost like retirement or something is like sold to us, like, you know, like a Corona light on the beach. And like, I know definitely that after like 2 weeks of that, it's really not that fun anymore. Like it's just
when I was 27, I sold my first company. I built and sold a swimming school. It's now the biggest swimming school in Southern Asia with 10,000 kids learning how to swim a day.
Wow.
And I was 27 and I was on a beach in Thailand with my girlfriend with a Corona, although it might have been a beer Chang. And I never forget, she said, what do you see? And I looked around and I said, paradise. And she said, no, this is where ambition comes to die.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Are you kidding? And she's like, you're going to get bored of this. It is better to constantly be chasing than be the dog that gets the car when it stops.
Yep. I could not agree more, man.
She was a smart girl.
It's interesting. It's definitely a good lesson to learn. The next one I have for you, I'm excited for your answer on this one, is what is the best book that you've read and what was the number one thing you learned from it?
How to Get Rich. It's a book by my mentor, Felix Dennis, who was an expert at proving people wrong. If he did nothing else, that is his greatest claim to fame. He started as a college dropout. He had no family money. He created a publishing empire. He founded Maxim magazine, which bought my beauty pageant idea called Miss Clubs. He made himself one of the richest people in the UK. And he had an absolute blast in the process. He's famous for saying, if it floats, flies, or fornicates, rent it. And he wrote this book not because he wanted to make money, but because he didn't want to sell snake oil and he didn't want to give investment tips or motivational claptraps. He really wanted to show people how they could do better. And I don't want to spoiler alert because it's not about the ending of the book, and you'll find that out by reading it. Because in the end, he says, once you've made it, once you've got all this money, give it away. Yeah. Because there's nothing better than that.
Yes. Dude, all right, I got to read that.
You'll love it. You'll absolutely. he's just the greatest guy ever. Unfortunately, he passed away 4 years ago now, but he was just one of the greatest men in the world.
I was going to say, well, either way, like the way that you just explained it, like I'm already completely sold into reading that book. So although you can't like communicate with him now to do it, you should definitely do like a video or something of you saying that and then run ads towards the book. That was
I'll do it. Actually, I'll tell you what, I will do that. I will got a long weekend coming up. I will make a plan for that.
Awesome. And then what is your favorite quote and why?
Change Your Thoughts and You Change Your World by Norman Vincent Peale. I am a firm believer that we do not see the world the way it is, but that we see the world for how we are. And I'm sure you know perspective is such a big thing, and it changes everything. If you have a fixed mindset, then the world will be whatever you've decided it is. If you have a flexible mindset, you know that the world can be anything that you've decided can be. And that just changes. It changes every single aspect of your life, from your health to your well-being, to the ability to ask for help and the ability to take help and implement it.
Yeah, could not agree more, man. It was a pleasure having you on, dude. The last question I have for you before we let you go is, where's the best place for people to find and connect with you online?
I'm probably one of the easiest people to find. It's just Jason Allan Scott, JASON ALLANSCOTT. Or if you put in Jason Scott Events, I believe I come up every time. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Twitter @PenthouseLord. Again, if you just Google me, I come up quite quickly. And you can connect with me on everything. I do take a while to get back, but that's because I answer every single message that's ever sent.
Yes. Dude, thanks again for coming on. Really appreciate it.
It's been an absolute blast. Thank you so much for having me and allowing me to share my value.
The podcast you just heard was published with Anchor. Got something you want to say to the creator of this show? Send them a voice message using the Anchor app, free for iOS and Android.